The home of rock and roll, Q104. I'm Tom Bedell, continuing the chat with Randy Bachman. Bachman Turner have a new project out these days. Always fun talking with Randy Bachman. So many unbelievable stories of the people that he's met over the years, including the great Les Paul. Now, of course, Randy, all these years has been playing the Gibson Les Paul, and that's still the case, eh, Randy?
Yeah.
And I loved hearing the story of when you first met Les Paul.
That was pretty amazing. I was about, 18 or 19 years of age. It was Winnipeg. He was playing the Rancho Don Carlos, which is a nightclub in Winnipeg, on the other side of Winnipeg. So I had to take a bus there. I didn't have a car or anything. And I got there in the afternoon. I went after school. So I got there at about 5:36 in the evening. And I go there and I go to buy a ticket, and the guy says to me, "You can't get in." I said, "What do you mean? I came all the way from here to see Les Paul." He says, "You're not 21. There's a drinking age. This is a supper club. We serve booze with the dinner. You can't get in." So I go out front, this nightclub, I'm sitting there on the grass because there's a big grass approach to it, waiting for the bus to come, and up pulls a Cadillac. And out gets Les Paul and Mary Ford and a kid. And he comes up to me and says, "Hi, kid, what are you doing here?" I said, "Mr. Paul, I want to meet. I brought an album. Will you autograph my album?" And I brought an album cover. And he said, "Why are you so sad?" I said, "I can't get in tonight. I'm 19 or I'm 18, whatever."
Yeah.
And it's a drinking age. He said, "Just a minute." He went and talked to club owner. He said, "I'm here. I want this kid to see my show." Club owner said, "I can't do it, except he could stand in the kitchen where there's no booze served because it came from a bar. He could stand in the kitchen and watch you through the big doors. They had big swinging doors that had big round glass windows like portholes, but they were about 2 feet around squares, so the waiters wouldn't bump into each other, hitting them with the doors, right? So they had these big glass windows. So he said, "Okay, you can stand here." So I stood in the kitchen where they were like preparing the food and watched the back of Les Paul and Mary Ford,
Yeah.
because the stage was right there, perform the whole night long. But beside me was 4 or 5 tape recorders that he was recording from on stage, and he had a thing on his guitar called the pulverizer that he would start and stop these tape recorders, and he would play rhythm to a song and then push playback. It would play it back, just like you guys do in the radio studio or I do in a recording studio, but he did it live. Then he'd play the lead, then Mary Ford would sing over it. His son was there playing drums. That was the young kid he had was his son drummer.
Oh.
And I watched the whole show that way and marveled at it. Then when he came back, when the show was over, he came in, he was wiping his brow with a towel. He said, "Here, kid, hold this." And he hands me his white Les Paul with all this stuff on it and a microphone coming out of it, because they walked around to the tables with long cords, and they sang at the tables like a Mexican band would do, in a Mexican restaurant.
Right.
Because the microphones came on a gooseneck right out of their guitar. And it was all hooked into the system. So they weren't standing on stage with the microphones. They just walked all over. So he said, "Here, kid, hold this guitar." And he wipes his brow, and he goes out and plays again. And he comes back, and he hands me his guitar. And I'm telling you, it's the heaviest guitar in the world. It's got to be 40 pounds with all this, the mics on it and the cables and the pulverizer and everything.
The pulverizer. I love that.
And I said to him, "Would you show me a lick? It's in How High the Moon." And he said, "Sure." And he showed me the lick, and he said, "I want you to remember that lick." So that was it. I went home. I had his autograph. That was my Les Paul moment. That was like 1959. Fast forward to 1987. I'm with some form of BTO. I'm opening for Van Halen on their 10-month 5150 tour. We play Long Island, New York, and who comes in the dressing room? Les Paul. So he goes and he meets Eddie, and he shakes hands with Eddie, and he comes over to me and says, "Do I know you?" I said, "Mr. Paul, I was 19. My name is Randy Bachman. You at the Rancho Don Carlos in Winnipeg." And he said, "Hold this, kid."
Well, yeah.
The same thing he said when he handed me the guitar. I said, "Do you remember?" He said, "Of course I remember. You're the kid who couldn't get in. Do you remember that lick? Show me that lick." So I played him the lick.
How High the Moon.
Yes. There it goes. "Somewhere there's da-da-da-da." And when it goes somewhere, the guitar goes over and over. It's a trill hammer-on pull-up that goes up and down the scale. So I played that.
Now, wasn't that the intro for his show that he did with Mary Ford?
Yes.
That's what I read. That sounds so familiar. Yeah.
Right. And then fast forward to 2001. I'm with the Guess Who Reformed. We're playing New York City. Joe Cockers are opening act. I go to the Iridium Club in New York where Les Paul's playing. Somebody tells him I'm in the audience. He invites me up on stage to play How High the Moon with him, saying, "I taught this kid this lick in 1959. And now he's in this band, the Guess Who, and everybody heard of BTO back in, this guy taught him how to play guitar." So I'm up there, and then when I'm all done How High the Moon, he says, "Okay, let's do one of yours." And I do Taking Care of Business, and he plays it with me.
Oh, my God.
And I had a friend videoing this, so I have a video of this whole thing. And then he came and he said, "I wanted you to come to my place tomorrow, come to Maupon, New Jersey. I'll show you all my junk, all my gear.
Ooh, buddy.
Place. The next morning was 9/11. The planes hit the tower. New York closed. I never got to his place.
No, and he just passed away just last year. Yeah.
Exactly. Now I got asked to play Les Paul night, Monday night. Next time in New York, I'm probably going to play the Iridium Club. Tell that story to everybody there because they honor him every Monday night there. Jeff Beck just did the gig there. They asked me to go and do it, and I'll probably go and do that and tell the fans that story. But that's my great connection with the great Les Paul.
Unbelievable. He gave you the Les Paul, and you've never let it go since. Yeah.
I'm still playing it on stage.
Incredible. So you were just in...
Also, the American Woman Les Paul is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Randy Bachman with the Guess Who and the Les Paul on Q104. I'm Tom Bedell, wrapping up our chat with Randy Bachman. Bachman and Turner back together again, and... just in Charlottetown over the Canada Day weekend. When can we see you in Halifax, Randy?
Whenever you call our agency.
All right. Well, give me the number.
Well, it's just go to BachmanandTurner.com and you'll see how to get connected to us, or RandyBachman.com.
Yeah.
We are planning a tour of Canada next spring. Like right now, we're doing some press in Toronto. I'm going to play Ottawa this weekend and Calgary.
I'm Tom Bedell, wrapping up our chat with Randy Bachman. Bachman and Turner back together again, and just in Charlottetown over the Canada Day weekend. When can we see you in Halifax, Randy?
We go to London and play the High Voltage Festival at the end of July with Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Foreigner, and Bachman Turner is right up there. We come back and we play Wolf Trap, Virginia, the big outdoor concert venue. We're playing different venues that have invited us that we're going to and playing, but we're planning a trek right across Canada sometime probably next spring, depending on if we get success at the radio with Rollin' Along and the next single, which is Slave to the Rhythm, and the album, because we really want the new stuff embraced as well as we're happy to come and celebrate the old stuff. It'd be such a thrill to say this song was a hit last year and play Rollin' Along and have everybody know it, and this song was a hit last year and play Slave to the Rhythm. You know what I mean? That to have something new that people sing along with. But the indications are, because these songs are already in our set, people are singing along already because the internet, they know rock and roll's the only way out. It's the free download, and then also know Rolling Along. So we're thrilled with the whole process.
Can't wait to see you, Randy. Sounds like you're having a wonderful time.
We are. Thanks a lot, man. Bye.
The Request a Fiesta is next, right after Bachman Turner on the Q.